source. I would like to look at this now. Yes. Sorry, this thing gets fussy. Okay, so yesterday we started looking at the baby of our grave site of the baby. We noticed, what time period is this from? Look at your italicized font. What time period is this from?
Neolithic.
Neolithic. So what is happening in the world in Neolithic times? We are what? Farming. So birth rates, are they like amazing, or are people still dying due to childbirth and infants? People are still dying, absolutely. So who can summarize what we talked about yesterday with our baby? Who can summarize? Look at it. Everything's there. We took notes on it. Look at it. What is happening with our primary here? Thank you so much for volunteering, Mary Page. What's happening here?
He's a wealthy baby.
It is a wealthy baby. His family was wealthy. Okay, why do we know that?
Because he has a bunch of beads and stuff.
Okay.
He was put to rest, like,
In comfort, absolutely, because of the reeds, because of the basket or whatever it's in, okay? So when we do a primary source, we always have to break it down, and as you see over here, we're going to fill these out looking at our image about this baby who was wealthy and was well taken care of. What is the subject of the piece? What is the subject of the piece, Natalie? Don't tell me a baby. If I showed you a picture of a baby crawling in 2017, would it be the same thing? Okay, so give me something good here. What is this? An ancient dead baby.
wealthy too.
A wealthy ancient baby. Jeez. All right, the funeral of Neolithic baby. How's that? Why am I using Neolithic instead of ancient?
More specific.
More specific. Ancient includes Rome and Greece. Is this happening before Rome and Greece?
Yes.
Yeah. So ancient is very vague, and we don't use it in AP World because it doesn't give us a frame of context, yes? When we talk about the Neolithic Revolution, it's between the first farming and really the ancient Mesopotamians. Once we start the Mesopotamians, time is dictated by the regions of the major civilizations. Does that make sense? So as soon as we start the Mesopotamians, which is next week, it's the ancient river civilizations, which breaks down into 8 of the major ones. Then we start getting into period 2, which is still ancient times for the first half, where we get into Greeks, the Persians, and the Romans, who are the big ancient people. Be specific with your language, because if you wrote ancient, it's not going to score. So be specific. Perfect example. I really appreciate that you said that, because it got me into what I want to say. All right, audience, who is this done for? This funeral of this ancient baby was done for who? Who was it done for? Benji. The family of the baby. Why would you say that, Benji? You're completely correct. Why? Absolutely, to a degree, okay? If you threw this baby into the ditch without care, would that be done for the family? No, that would clearly be a burial of enemies, correct? You wouldn't treat a baby like that. This is done in care. We can tell it's for the family. All right, what's the purpose? Why are we looking at this in 2017? What's kind of the purpose of it? What does this show us? What does this tell us? What do you think? Henry?
Because it shows how they did it back then, how they did it.
But why do we care? I mean, we're not talking about 2017 burial practices in AP World.
So, because people learn more
Okay, about what though?
about their culture.
What are we learning, Trey?
It kind of gives us examples of their tradition or religion when they're putting bracelets in the...
Okay, so we're seeing all these things. Would you put expensive beads? We know the baby's wealthy. They're doing all this care. Would you be doing all this crap to a rat that you killed in your house? No, absolutely. So we're doing this with the baby. What does that tell us about the baby? It's cared for, and it's deemed incredibly important, correct? You don't waste all this time on something that's not. So what is the purpose of this picture, this image? Why are we looking at it? What do you got for me, Abby?
It shows that they value the life of people.
Shows the value life and reproduction. Abby, you're killing it. Shows the value of life and reproduction. Is it high or low, the value of life and reproduction? High, yes, absolutely. Who's the speaker? Who is the one curating this image for us? Me? No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going in and taking pictures of dead babies. Huh?
Archaeologists.
No, archaeologists aren't like, oh, I'm going to put some bones here, I'm going to put some bones here. Who created this? The parents, or who else could have done it? Think about 2017. When my grandfather died in his Red Sox jersey, did I be like, hey, Grandpa, here we go, and get him dressed?
That's the cemetery guy.
The morgue, okay, the morgue. Who else plays a major role in funeral services? Priests, religious figures. Do you think this probably was a religious affiliation at some point as well? So the speaker is going to be religious leader and who else?
Family.
And family, absolutely. Do you understand how we got here, yes? Okay, what's the point of view? Why is this happening when it's happening? Why did this occur? And I agree with that sentiment because we're all going to die at some point. Okay? But why do we care about this baby? Why is this such a focus? Why do we care? And why did this baby die? Remember, it's showing us the importance of value in life and reproduction. Okay, parents care that he died. Yes, I think all parents would care. What is this showing us, though? What is this showing us? I keep getting the same hands. What do we got? Trey.
That children didn't live to be older.
Okay, children didn't live long. If children aren't living long, what does that tell us? They're valued. Okay, reproduction is hard. Why is reproduction in Neolithic times challenging? We talked about this yesterday. Georgia. There's not enough what in the world? Food. Okay? Food is scarce. So reproduction rates are low. Which means what? Is human life more valued or less valued?
More valuable.
More valued. Human life equals more value. Why do we know they rate human life valuable? What are they doing to this baby? What have they done for this baby? The beads, okay? All those different things, the care. It's not like, damn, another one's lost. Let's try again. You know, there's care, there's mourning, there's a process. What's the tone of the piece? When you look at it, what is it projecting on you? Yeah, it's sad, people. It's sad. There's a baby. And it's in the fetal position, and you're just like, oh my God, maybe it just needs a blanket, right? Like, okay, it's sad. There's real loss. Okay? And like a little bit of hope, I think. Okay? You do not need additional document. They changed that this year. Okay? So, every time we do a primary source, we think of the subject, the audience, the purpose, the speaker, point of view, and tone. Flip it over. What is the most important part of a primary source, Lily? The italicized words at the top. They're going to give you way more information than you could probably do. So the Venus of Dolani, sure. First known work of ceramic art. In archaeology, the term Venus figurines is an umbrella description relating to the Stone Age statuettes. So, if it is a umbrella description, okay, for relating to Stone Age statuettes, is this a common image or an uncommon image? It's a common or universal image. Okay? So, does that mean a lot of cultures have this or only a few? A lot. Okay? Relating to Stone Age statuettes of women created during the Upper Paleolithic. Paleolithic is during what time period? What's happening there? Hunting and gathering. So, what is going on during the hunting and gathering stage with women? Think about it. Those are the types of things. You know it's women, you know Paleolithic. What is happening during this time, Catherine? They're being valued a lot, okay? Reproduction rates high or incredibly low? Very low. Those are the things you need to be thinking of when they're giving you context like Paleolithic. By Stone Age sculptors in all manner of throughout Europe from France to Siberia. So is that a wide range or a small range? It's a wide range, absolutely. Do you think all these people are talking to each other and saying, oh my God, I just came up with this great statue? You should make one too. Are they talking about it or does it just happen to happen? It just happens. So they were carved by Stone Age sculptors in all manner of different materials ranging from soft stone, bone, ivory, wood, or ceramic clays. The latter type are among the oldest ceramic works yet discovered. So they're using valuable stuff in order to do it. If they're using valuable things and things that take technology, is it important to them or not important to them? It is important. They're taking time out of finding foods in order to make sculptures that look like this. So it's very important to the civilization that's behind it. All right. And I need that head up, man. All right, so what do we see? Head up, man, all the way up. Yeah, man, I don't get to put my head down. I'm exhausted. All right, what do we see? Look at the picture.
A woman.
A woman. So we'll write woman. Hopefully, that's not too hard for you to see. Okay, what else do we see? What else do we see, Garrett?
She has like exaggerated features.
Exaggerated features like what?
Her sexual features.
Her sexual features like what?
Her breasts.
Her breasts, absolutely. Okay, they are incredibly large. Why are large breasts a big deal? Yeah, so she's clearly a what? A mother, absolutely. Large breasts. Okay, what else do we see for our girl, Timmy?
She's pregnant.
I don't know if you could decide that. But she's definitely has been pregnant, right? She's definitely carried a child. Why do you know that, Timmy? Guys, check out my girl. My girl has what, Camden?
Doesn't look like she has arms.
There's a Shakira song about this. Her hips. Her hips. My girl's got some hips. Why are big hips a big deal? What do hips tell you? What do hips tell you, Benji?
When women have kids, they like get fat.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so let's just do basic things, okay? If I don't have narrow hips, but the smaller your hips are. So there are some women, girls you may know who have teeny tiny little hips, yes? They're like size like 0-1, you know, they're like teeny tiny little things. Those women, theoretically, I'm not their doctor, I'm not in their business, but they're going to have a hard time bearing a child. Okay? Because your child is going to be grown in the lower region. That's why your hips are there, obviously to help you walk. But also for women, you carry a child where your hips are. So when you are carrying a child, your hips actually separate, ladies. And I know. I'm not having children. It's fine. Okay? Your hips actually separate and your hips round out. So after you give birth, your hips are wider set than they would be before you've given birth. So a woman who's given birth look different in their hips. They'll never go back. They may kind of go in a little bit, but they're never going to go back. The wider your hips, the easier it is to give birth. Makes a lot of sense, don't you think? You have to carry a human child in this region. The wider it is, the bigger it is. Okay, the easier it is, it goes from there. The other major thing is, what else is she? She's what, ladies and gentlemen? It starts with an F.
Female.
She's fat. She is fat. Okay? She is fat. Why is that a big deal during Paleolithic times?
She has to be.
She's like a
She's what? My girl loves to eat. Oh my God. This would be my time to be alive. Okay? As long as I'm wealthy and I can eat as much as I want, I would be the most beautiful thing in the world. Okay? This is the ideal beauty structure. Why is this the ideal beauty? No one paints a picture or creates a ceramic of ugly things. Can we agree? Okay? You only do things, that's a modern idea of concept of art, is to do the ugly things. But we're doing historically, leave me alone, Ren, this is my class. You only do beautiful things. Okay? Things that have value. That if you're not going to be farming, if you're not going to be hunting, you're not going to be gathering, you're going to spend your time doing something, you're going to do something ugly? No. She's the ideal of beauty. Why is she the ideal of beauty? Why? Why, Lily?
Because
She can bear children. Okay? Now, this is how beauty standards work. She is the most beautiful woman because she's got big hips, big breasts, which means she has plenty of fat on her body, which means she can nurse her children. Because it's not only about carrying a child to term and delivering the child, you got to keep the kid alive. Like, you got to feed it. You know, they don't have like baby food aisle and formula aisle. If you can't feed your kid, guess what happens to your kid? Kid dies. You can't just start like shoving like squirrel meat in its mouth and saying, eat me. Like, you know, if you can't breastfeed your child dies. There's a whole lot of things to go into rearing a child. With that being said, she's the ideal. Do you think a lot of women look like her? No. Hi, let's talk about 2017 in our beauty magazines. This is not 2017 ideal beauty right here. I am not 5'9". I do not weigh 105 pounds. Okay, I do not look like, isn't Gigi Hadid like a big thing right now? Whatever. Okay, I don't look like her. Only 2% of the world's population has the bone structure and the weight of what we consider the most beautiful people in the world. So, is that a fair estimate of what women look like today or an unfair thing? Unfair. With that being said, they're the ones on our they're the ones on the pictures, the covers of the magazines and all that stuff. Do we all look like that? No, but is that what we're supposed to look like in theory? Absolutely. Now, the idea of having tan skin, whatever is the opposite of the norm is what is beautiful. Have you noticed that? During our Victorian age, okay? When we have like medieval times and all that stuff, when we're talking about the Renaissance, the most beautiful people in the world, were they tan or were they pale? Why were they pale? Who can raise their hand and tell me why they're pale? Why the most beautiful people in the world are pale? Why?
Because everyone else is tan.
Why? Because of farming. If you are wealthy enough that you can just sit inside all day while everyone else, all the peasants are in the field getting your food, and you can just sit inside all day, what color is your skin going to be in Europe specifically? Pasty white. That's a status thing. I'm wealthy enough that I could stay inside all day while you people have to go out and farm. So what was the most important thing about protecting your skin? You had to protect it, because the whiter you are, the wealthier you are. In China, okay, have you ever seen the little shoes? The little like miniature feet? Why would a woman break her foot and do foot binding? To make her look pretty, but to be able to bound your foot and not be able to move the rest of your life means you have to have what? Money. Ideal of beauty means very limited people can do it. If everyone had freckles, would freckles be beautiful? No, absolutely not. It's always the outside of the perspective. She's the most beautiful because she has features most people don't. It's an unfair world. If everyone was tan, everyone would want to be pale. So now that everyone works inside all the time in 2017, what's the beauty standard? Tan. To be able to tan naturally or unnaturally and go to the tanning booth, you have to pay money, correct? Or you have to be able to take time off work to go tan. So obviously that's the new standard. We're never going to win. All right, here we go. So what is the subject of the piece? What's the subject of the piece, Tanner?
Show beauty of women.
All right, show the ideal of beauty for women. Who is the audience? Who's the audience? The town. Okay. The audience are people throughout Europe. Why am I saying throughout Europe? Well, go back to my italicized font. What does it say?
It says throughout Europe.
Throughout Europe, France to Siberia and stuff like that. Remember, it was very common, correct? So, what's the purpose of the piece? What is the purpose of the piece? What is it, Sophia?
Show like some of the beauty standards that they had when in the Paleolithic age and what they expected.
Okay, Is it just about beauty standards? Beauty standards are incredibly important. You're not wrong. But what about these beauty standards is the purpose of the piece?
She's like bigger and that she is fertile.
Fertile, absolutely. So what is the most important thing to all of these cultures? If this is the beauty standard, if this is the ideal, what is the most important thing, Julia? Having babies, the ability to reproduce. Okay, is the ideal for society. That's what everyone's striving for, everyone wants to accomplish. Who's the speaker? Who's the one creating this? The artist, would we agree? Okay, so what do we know about the artist from looking at the piece? What do we know about the artist, Timmy?
They have time to do this.
They have time to do it. So does that mean they're wealthy or poor?
Wealthy.
So the speaker is wealthy. Okay, they have time to do it. So if they have time to do it, that means people are feeding him, which probably means what is he in this civilization? He's probably a what figure? Elder or religious figure of some sort, correct? Only people in power would be able to still get food and not go out hunting and gathering every day. Can we agree? So probably a religious / elder. We're not really sure, but we know they're a person of importance. Would we agree? Okay, point of view. Why are they doing this when they did it? Why are they making a statue of a woman with wide hips, big breasts, very fat? Why are they doing this? And this time, during the Neolithic times, why are they doing it, Georgia?
Because fertility was difficult to keep consistent. So
Absolutely. Fertility rates are low. Show the value. Show its value in society. Okay? And what's the tone of the piece? When you look at it, it looks like, is it a positive piece or a negative piece? It's a positive. Okay, so it's definitely a positive. Let's be a little bit more complex with the tone. It is a what for women?
comparison.
It's ideal, okay? It's kind of like a celebration of women, correct? Don't you think this symbols womanhood more than your skinny Gigi Hadid on a paper, on a magazine cover? Looking gorgeous, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean there's a shade, but isn't a woman who large breasts, big hips, who can reproduce, isn't that what a woman's supposed to be? So it's a celebration of women and our ability to reproduce. So it's a celebration, okay? So we're critical, okay? This is the ideal. However, it is a celebration of women saying, wow, look at the power. All right. Tomorrow, all you have to do is bring this sheet in, and you'll turn it in tomorrow. I'm just not ready to deal with it today, okay? So I do want to talk to you really quick. I'm going to transition to doing a little bit of a lecture today, so please take out a piece of notebook paper. I did suggest that everyone bring a one-subject notebook, or you can use loose leaf paper. It's completely up to you, whatever you prefer. You don't need a ton of paper. Because you don't need like a 5-star notebook or anything, or a 5-subject notebook, because you're not going to have that many notes. Okay? While you're transitioning, I do want to point out your AP World binder. Okay? It is in the front of my room every single day. I am going to be putting, every week, I put in your do-nows and your quizzes. The only quiz that will not be in here is your map quiz. I think we get that, right? Vocab we do all the time. You won't have another map quiz until the very end of the year when you essentially take the same quiz again. Yes? Okay? So, if you need to make up any vocab quizzes due now, you can come before school, after school, during lunch. On Wednesdays after your test is really the best day to do it. You'll have time after your test that you can sit here and do the makeup information. All you do is grab the binder, grab a sheet of paper, and write your answers on your sheet of paper, not mine. Sorry, we ran out of time. Have a great day. Tomorrow you have a focus due. Make sure it's done. Make sure your map is done and ready to go. Have a great day, guys.
The one that made us last year, are we gonna talk about the Hanging Garden?
That's going to be Mesopotamia. That's Babylonia. Referencing quickly. But no, I don't get into the ancient wonders and all that stuff. I just don't have time. So AP World is really great because you're going to get